Hello and welcome back to the Pick Up and Play podcast. I'm here as always with my two good friends, James and Scott. Unfortunately, Dan is not with us today. How are you two doing?
Shit.
Scott, I feel a moan coming up already. Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Thanks for asking.
Just lockdown's just shit. I'm bored now.
Yeah. Last time we recorded, we were not technically in a proper lockdown, but we're back in lockdown 3.0 now. Really, it's lockdown 3.
They're meant to get better. They're getting worse. The higher number you go, 2.0 is meant to be better. Yeah. They're doing HDMI ports. They get better. Not in lockdown.
They're not upgrades. They're just.
Do you know what, Russ? This is when I was younger. So, like, my life mantra is failing me, because when I was younger, and I say when I was younger, I did it this time last year, and you're about to find out why. I said to myself, this time next year, you won't be thinking about that. It won't be a problem. It'll be a distant memory. Don't worry about it. And throughout my life, it's always gotten me right. When I was 15.
The this time next year policy.
Yeah, when I was 15 and I was worried about my GCSEs. This time next year, it'll be fine. You'll be in sixth form. You won't even remember.
And it worked. We'll be millionaires, Roger.
Yeah, this time next year, exactly what I said to myself when COVID first happened, and I'm fucking worse off. So, yeah, and it's starting to dawn on me a little bit, and I'm not very happy about it.
Yeah, the lockdown madness is getting to us all, especially us playing Warzone. The wins have been shortcoming.
But we did set ourselves a task, didn't we? We set ourselves like a 3-day goal.
Yeah.
And so we basically said, in the space of 3 days, could we get... Well, we were quite optimistic at the start. I was like, 10 wins! And I've got like 40 in 9 months.
Essentially, what happened was we found ourselves back in lockdown, and James was being furloughed. I'm at home all day anyway. Scott was off of work as well and had 3 days that he wanted to play as much Warzone as possible in those 3 days. And he said to us, let's make ourselves a challenge. Let's try and get 10 wins in 3 days. Bear in mind, we struggled to get 1 win in a week. So we quickly talked him down on his target to 5 wins in 3 days, which is a real push. We've been known to get 3 wins in a day, but then we would go for months afterwards without a win to pay back for it, wouldn't we? So we did. We tried our hardest. We had 2 sessions a day for 3 days. And the first 2 days went absolutely awful. I think we got 1 win on the second day.
No, I think we got 1 win on the first day.
One win on the first day at the very end of the night. Day 2, we got nothing.
It was so sweaty. It was ridiculous. We couldn't even get a load out. I was just fodder. The day 2 was a real. And I set myself that I said, right, day 2 is when you really put the hard graft in. This is your engine day. Wasn't. It was a day I nearly smashed in my fucking living room. And I thought the more time I put in, the more chance I got winning. The more I played, the worse I got, and the more angry I got, and the more frustrated I got.
Yeah, so we decided to change tactics, didn't we? And it actually worked out
well. We did. No, yeah, we did. Yes.
So we decided to. So if for anyone that's not familiar with Warzone, it's a battle royale game where the circle that you have to stay inside gets smaller and smaller until there's no one left, and you can do something called a recon contract, which means that you can find out where the next circle is going to be, and if you do enough of them, you can find out where all the circles are going to be. And it's not the most exciting strategy.
No,
it's kind of looked down on by anyone that thinks that Warzone should be full speed all the time, sort of thing.
It's campy, isn't it?
It's very campy. It's very
well. The goal of it is to get campy towards the end.
Yeah,
get the business done early, and then just get very campy.
We sort of had to get over ourselves to get to start that strategy, didn't we? Because
our initial strategy was drop in a similar-ish area, get most wanted, hold them up, get the money, fight anybody that comes near us, take all their shit, and then try a desperate run towards the end to get towards a circle.
And then get killed as soon as we need to move. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And, so we changed our tactic and we went full speed on all of the recon contracts we could possibly do. And we ended up getting 4 wins. We got 4 in the end.
Oh, 4 in the end, yeah. Sorry, we had 1 on day 1.
The last day.
and we were free on the last day.
And I do believe if we hadn't have gotten so tired, we were on a bit of a roll that night. I think we might have done it.
We might have squeezed out that last one.
We were just tired, weren't we?
It got past midnight, and we'd got the fourth one in our last game. And then we said to James, "You've got to stay on for another one now because we've got to see if we can get the 5." And Croxon went into his Lisa's in bed, so I've got to be quiet mode. And it was clear that it wasn't going to happen. We needed to call it a night. But 4 wins in 3 days.
That's fairly respectable.
Yeah, especially in quads and trios. That's pretty good.
Mm.
Yeah. Scott Jackson is the only man who has had such trouble adopting a puppy. He frequently tells us he wants to get rid of the puppy, and also frequently tells us that it's the best thing that's ever happened to him. But he's always got a good story to tell, and he's got his own jingle. So let's roll the jingle and hear the story.
What a funny story.
First and foremost, I owe it to Nelly to say I don't want to rehome you and I don't want to give you away. Sometimes I say that in retaliation to your naughtiness. Like earlier on, she brought in a load of bark out of the garden and just dropped it on my white carpet. And just for no reason. And the other day, she did the same thing with a brownie that she'd picked up somewhere.
It's not a good idea to have a white carpet and a dog, just saying.
Well, that is also true, but I have both. I'm in this situation. So I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, what story should I tell about? Now, there's been many. She's cost me a lot of money. She ate and swallowed a sock, which cost me a lot of money. But I'll tell you a story of something that happened that was quite funny. It's lighthearted, and it's only a quick one. So yesterday, I was walking her around the local area, and just up from my house is quite a big green area, and there's some benches and stuff in the middle. And there's never really anybody there, so I can let her off. So I was walking up, and she was running around, but she'd only just gone off her lead. And when Nelly gets excited, she runs around like a lunatic and cannot be stopped. And she makes this little noise, and she accelerates off her back legs like a little rabbit. And she goes to herself as she's accelerating. And so I then noticed that there were 2 people sitting on a bench, and they were a young couple. And when I say young couple, I mean teenagers. 14, 15, clearly their first boyfriend and girlfriend, and they'd met up in the park and they were cuddling. They were sort of like, I don't know, one was sitting in front of the other, back to him, like a sort of spoon, I guess, but sitting spoon. I don't know what you want to call it. And he had his arms.
Tell us more about exactly how they were sitting, Scott. Tell us more.
That is it. That is exactly how they were sitting. And he was cuddling her, and then she turned around and she was giving him a kiss, and they had like a little bit of food and a picnic. And then this fucking spaniel runs over and decides to sprint around them. And it looked like that they were on like a first date type thing. He's going in for a kiss, and then Nelly comes over and sprints around their bench over and over and over and over. He's round and round in circles. They're just sat there, and he's stunned, this guy, and Nelly's going at them, and they think they're going to get bitten. But all it is Nelly's so excited with herself that she's found these people on this bench, and she can run around at speed. So yeah, that's my Nelly story for the week. And so it's
it didn't have any poo in it.
No poo this week. No poo incidents because I've found out why. It's the treats I've been giving her. I've been giving her treats that were too big, too adult for her, too advanced.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think that's been doing her stomach. So she's gone back to a little bit of biscuit. She's a bit of an idiot. Earlier on, I thought she killed herself. She jumped about 5 foot in the air. This dog's like a rabbit. So I come in, I was like, do you want your lunch? And she knows the word lunch and dinner. She doesn't know sit or stay or leave, but she knows fucking lunch and dinner. And so I was like, do you want your lunch? And she's like, yes. And she just sprung up in the air and went about 5 foot up in the air. Didn't think about the landing, come straight down her side, went doof. And it's like, I was like, great, broken ribs. And it's always around payday. Always around payday. She must know I'm about to get paid for fucking break something. I could injure myself in some way.
My insurance has kicked back in this week.
Yeah, little fucker. So yeah, this week she ruined some young chap's love interests.
Croxon, have you got some dubious news for us?
It's extra dubious this week.
Just how we like it.
Right, let's see if I can do this in one take. Croxon's dubious news disclaimer. All news stories are a rumour and not to be taken as fact. All comments should be taken as such and likely nothing more than ramblings and nonsense, much like this disclaimer. So, as always, it's always dubious Warzone rumours. The first one is new Warzone map. I'm going to throw it back out there again.
You can't just every week say new Warzone maps come in and then keep saying it until you're right.
Look, okay, so hear me out here. So we know there's going to be a change of the Resurgence map that comes out.
Is there?
This one, that is coming out. That's been confirmed on the roadmap for Season 2.
Right.
It's meant to be based on a campaign level that's in the Cold War campaign, which I still haven't played, by the way. I don't know if anyone else has.
No.
No, it's something mountains. It's snowy. There's rumours of ski slope areas and bits like that are in there. The thing they've got in there is, which is making me think it's more of a Warzone map, is the actual amount of space for players to play in is actually larger than Verdansk. The actual map of Verdansk is bigger, but it has a lot of unplayable areas, whereas this map has actual more playable area within it. And you can't play Resurgence, like Respawn, intense game on a map that size, surely. Unless you're going to throw 200 people into that map and bring the number back up again.
I still think that.
When's this map change coming?
This is Season 2, so whether it's an initial Season 2 or it's going to be a mid-season release, which will mean it's probably the end of February rather than mid-February.
Interesting. I mean, every time I hear, there's going to be a new map, I'm like, finally, and then I get robbed. And then I finally thought, Season 1, new map, Resurgence bioweapons, and I was like, yeah, great. And it turns out to be this shitty little fucking hole. All I can call it.
Don't get me wrong, I like the Resurgence map.
Yeah, but I like the Resurgence map, but I don't like it more than Verdansk.
No.
And I don't mind the setup of it. It just needed to be infinitely bigger, and like loads of little islands, maybe. I don't know. Anything, do something. Just freshen up Verdansk, please. They've not changed. What have they changed in Verdansk? What have they changed except the fucking Gulag?
The stadium opened. They stuck a train in there.
That was the last thing. I cannot remember the last big change to Verdansk, like to the actual Warzone. They keep making plunder and solos and duos. No, do something different. It's boring now. I love it.
I don't necessarily think it's boring. I think the small changes are really strange, though. They're just not enough. It's like, okay, you opened up the train station, but why?
No one goes there.
Why wasn't it open to start with?
Yes.
Doesn't really bring anything new to it, does it? Like
they made a hole, didn't they?
They put a hole in airport in the
that no one goes in.
Okay, the next bit of dubious news is the end of skill-based matchmaking.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Now,
for anyone that doesn't know what skill-based matchmaking is, it's the idea that you get put in lobbies with people of similar skill level to you, so that, it's for new players to not feel like they can't get a start, because if you was constantly put in a game with high-level players, you would just get killed instantly. You wouldn't be able to get started or ever enjoy the game. So skill-based, the problem that people have with skill-based matchmaking, though, is that once you do get good, you can never have a fun game, because you're constantly on 110% effort just to stay competitive.
Yeah, I mean, whatever that weird and terrible algorithm is that seems to plonk us in the very bottom of, like, us as the lowest ability in these sweaty lobbies. It's just an absolute pain.
We do tend to get put in lobbies where we are in the lower half of the skill, in the ranking of the skills, meaning we're always playing harder players than us. So we don't really think that skill-based matchmaking is working very well for us, and most people don't like it at all. So you're saying that there might be the end of skill-based matchmaking?
Since writing these notes up, they have actually confirmed that ranked and casual play is coming into effect. They haven't got a timeline on it yet to say if it's going to launch in Season 2 or it's going to launch later or it's going to be...
So like league systems?
So like the Call of Duty League again, which they haven't done since Black Ops perhaps one, I think.
That would be really, really, really good because they've got that. Like Adam plays a lot of Rocket League and stuff, and it really does help people who actually aren't very good or don't play a lot, and they want to encourage more players.
But that does sound like the sort of thing. It sounds like it's going to be a Rocket League-esque sort of ranking system.
I think that will work, and I think it will help. And also, it gives me something to do, like something.
Yeah.
To
So
towards.
the thing about I play a lot of Rocket League, and so what makes that fun in the ranks, having ranks in Rocket League, is that you've constantly got something to push for, to improve, and so when you rank up, it's an achievement. You have improved yourself, and you've worked hard to progress through the ranks. The only trouble that I have with it now is that I can't now jump on and play ranked Rocket League with, say, used to, or James or Scott, because it will put us all in a lobby that is
Way
as
too
good
hard.
as I am. And then I've basically got two teammates that are nowhere near the level that the rest of the other team is. So I wonder how that will affect Warzone. The other thing about it is that when you have a casual and a competitive mode, playing the casual mode doesn't seem to be much point, because if you win, you're like, well, I won in casual mode, so
and what's the difference?
Hopefully that keeps, as you're saying there, Conway. Hopefully that keeps all the really sweaty competitive players in the ranked mode.
So how would you feel? What do you think we'll be doing? Mostly, do you think we'll mostly be playing ranked, or do you think we'll mostly be playing casual?
Ranked. I'd play ranked.
I'd play ranked, and then when it gets too hard or too sweaty, play some casual just to ease the stress a little bit and have a bit of fun.
Yeah, I would definitely. Like for example, like when we were setting these tasks, we were like, "Oh, let's go hunting bounties." I'd just do that in the casual. And if I get killed, I don't really give a shit. If you want to try doing stupid stuff, like when we were like doing the riot shields on quad bikes, I'd do that in casual. Go exploring places. Or let's try this place. We never go here. Let's go. Let's drop on Superstore. But I wouldn't be doing that in ranked.
Yeah.
I get that, and that's a very good point. Really, just let's have a bit of fun and get the love back for the game.
Because it does mean it does put a lot of pressure on you. Like sometimes I think, do you know what? Let's drop on, let's go Superstore and see if we can win a gunfight in there, and go crazy a little bit. Every now and again we do that, and then we're like, oh, why did we fucking do that? Because we always end up getting killed. Let's do that. And just have a go and get better at the game in different styles without being so terrified. I'm going to be waiting for 15 minutes whilst my friends.
Yeah. But it depends how ranked works for us, because if ranked means we're constantly having to play really, really hard and really fast, and it's very difficult, then we're going to want to go and play casual more. But if ranked means we're actually put in lobbies that are similar skill to us, so we feel more comfortable in those lobbies, and it doesn't feel like we have to try so hard, or it doesn't feel so difficult. You might just feel like it's more fun to play in ranked, because
and also
we're in the right place.
It'd be quite cool, I think. This is just because the thing is, it depends how they're going to structure these leagues or this rank system. Is it going to be on kill to death ratio? Is it going to be on the amount of wins? Is it going to be on score? Like point score? And also then to consider that is that, well, the four of us, if you include Dan, have got very different stats. Dan, for example's kill to death ratio, his average is nearly 3 kills a game, is up near a 2, whereas ours is not even 1. So will Dan be in different lobbies all the time? And then if you play together, does that bump us up to a really hard lobby with Dan? Or does he come down to ours? Or does it go on like clans and teams? That'd be quite a cool idea. If you could get sort of if
it takes an average, yeah.
Yeah. It'd be interesting.
Oh, that's an interesting idea, to have a rank specifically for your clan.
I think that'd be sick.
You could say, these are the 4 people I always play with.
Yeah.
We are a team, and when we play together, that's us using our rank. Yeah.
Because most people do play with the same set of people, whether it's a set of 4 like we are, or maybe a few more than that, but like a variation of that 4 or 5. Maybe a few more sometimes. But yeah, generally speaking, even when you watch YouTube and stuff, they're always playing with the same guys, same buddies, same girls. So
that's interesting. Like, I'm just thinking about how that could apply to Rocket League now. Like, you could say, okay, these are my 2 mates, and I want to play with them all the time, and only them. So this is my, because you can make a club in Rocket League, but it doesn't really mean anything other than just you've got a club name. Because what would be interesting is you could actually put yourself in a team with someone and then say, right, we're going to start from unranked with just this team, and then you rank us as a team. And then even if I'm, say, like a platinum and you're like a silver or something, we might settle in the middle at gold where we're like
As a team,
most
yes,
competitive.
your level.
Where we're at, yeah.
Yeah, and
That would be
then
fun
you'd
to
be
see.
able to. Yeah, I don't know why that's not a thing.
Sign me up. I can't have all the ideas.
No, you can't play Rocket League for more than half an hour, Scott. So
5 minutes. Sorry, I can't. Yeah, I can't play Dog Shield all day. Sorry.
Oh dear. So we have a new feature introducing the Pick Up and Play podcast, Gulag Court.
Welcome to the Gulag. If you survive, you earn your freedom. You're up, soldier.
I love that. I love that little
That's
soundbite.
brilliant. That's
Yeah.
great.
This is the new feature that we're trialing out today, where when we're playing Warzone, there's always a time when we wonder what the fuck were our teammates doing? What on earth is going on? And there'll be some bullshit excuse about you said this, you said that, I did this, I did that. Well, that's what the call is for, to settle these disputes once and for all. So today we've got a case brought forward by Scott Jackson.
By me.
The defendant is myself, which leaves James Croxon to be this week's judge, jury, and executioner, I guess. So without further ado, opening remarks from the prosecution, Scott Jackson.
So we were camping earlier on, I think it's fair to say. We've done our recons. We were set up quite nicely. And I do have video evidence to show you of this after. I put forward my opening remarks for you, Your Honour. My recollection, okay, obviously I've not referred to my notes or anything since, is that we were there, we had a lot of money. Adam asked for the money. He didn't actually ask, he demanded the money. He didn't say, could I please have the money? He said, give me your money. Under duress I was. Handed over the money, as did James. Adam runs off. He was told not to go and waste all the money. And then he asked, and I told him not to buy fancy crisps. And that is code for, and I think we would all agree, don't waste it. And he said, what should I buy? And James said, well, I've got a UAV. And then we've then said, well, I'm going to play Exhibit A.
I'm not running the rocket at the moment.
In which case, that doesn't matter.
Give me money, I'll go have another run.
You better not waste all my money on fancy crisps.
And cigarettes.
Oh, Conway, you've taken it all. Hold on. Let's have enough to buy you back.
Yeah. Yeah.
What shall I buy?
Conway.
I don't know. I've got a UAV.
Buy a
Maybe an
UAV.
airstrike?
Buy another UAV in a cluster, yeah. For me down people. Alright. We're going to get fucked from them guys. They're still sniping us.
Okay, so which way do we go? Left or not?
Yeah, well, we're going to have to go right, but we're going to have to kill them people that were shooting at us. Because they're literally scoping us. I can see them. They're in the circle. They're up here. Down him. Down. Put an airstrike on him.
I've got an airstrike.
Oh.
Crox, you got an airstrike?
No, that's what I told you to get.
That's so annoying. I thought you was going to buy an airstrike, Conway, for that reason. Look at this gun. Fucking hell. Despite all the advice from your Crox, Conway, you're not allowed in charge of that any stuff anymore, right?
Well, neither of you two got the bollocks to go and do a run, so.
No, we just said you said you was going for the run. Don't blame it on that. Can't go back 2 steps. We said buy an airstrike.
Don't think you did. Let's see this footage.
Oh, fine. And I said buy a cluster. And we downed the guy that we were running towards. Perfect time to cluster him. We'd have created carnage.
If you can show me the footage.
Oh, mate, don't worry. I can. That's going to court, sure. Mate. So, what's clear from that evidence is that Adam was fully aware that James had a UAV. We weren't of need for another UAV. And even if he had have gone there, everybody knows you pop your UAV straight away and then you buy the cluster or the airstrike. That's a given. He does that regularly, and I think as another player alongside him, Adam, James will know that. The jury will know that in this case. And so you can bring up the bit where I say buy another UAV and a cluster. But everybody knows if you had have done that, you would have popped your UAV first, as we said, and then bought the cluster. And I think that is poignant in this case. And the final point to make, Your Honour, is he then tried to deflect the blame at the end and blame it on the fact that we wouldn't go to the buy station ourselves. That concludes the case for the Crown, Your Honour.
Does the defence have anything to say?
Well, the defence has a lot to say.
Oh, a whole post-it note.
A whole post-it note full.
Pink, I see.
The defence needs a brief recess to re-examine the evidence.
Yeah. What's the likely outcome, Your Honour? What's the likely penal code here? Penalty here? Penal code? What the fuck's that? It's American.
It is a pint bought for the prosecutor.
Fine. Okay. Accepted.
Now, Mr. Croxon, Your Honour, I stand here today.
Objection! You don't talk to the judge like that. Upheld. Carry on.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I stand here today.
It's drum and bass. What you gonna do?
Accused. Accused of what exactly? I'm not sure. It's not been made clear by the prosecutor exactly what I am here for, but nonetheless, I proclaim my innocence.
In what then? We know what you've done. What are you innocent with?
Well, no, okay. Well, if you're not accusing me of anything, then I'm not guilty of anything.
I am. I'm accusing you of lying about not buying the UAV.
Lying about not buying the UAV?
The cluster.
So, okay, so you're saying that I claimed to buy a cluster strike?
You were told to buy the cluster strike. You didn't. You spent it all on other shit.
That's not
and
lying.
I'm not saying you're lying. I'm just saying you didn't buy what you should have. This is not the real. This is not the real criminal offences, Adam. It's not theft or burglary. It's Warzone cock-ups. And the cock-up was that you went to the buy station with strict instructions and you fucked them up.
Right. Okay.
Right? And we needed that airstrike, and we died because of you. Murder. That is the offence. Murder.
Would you claim that I was given clear instructions?
You were given instructions.
Would you claim that I was given clear instructions?
You were told to buy a UAV and a cluster. Right. They were clear.
Okay, so, Your Honour, he's claiming that I was given clear instructions. Okay?
From two parties.
Yes, that is pertinent. Because my defence rests on one word. Cross-talking. If you examine the evidence, you'll find that both of you told me what to buy at the same time.
You bought neither. You bought no cluster, no airstrike, which is
how can one hear two things at once?
I think that would be a subject for the judge to decide whether he could clearly hear it. Because I did.
Yeah. What shall I buy?
I don't know. I've got a UAV.
Buy a UAV. Buy another UAV and a cluster. Yeah. For me down people.
Mr. Conway, can I ask you a question? Are you deaf, Mr. Conway? Are you deaf? Easy question.
Sometimes I wish I was.
No. Are you stupid, Mr. Conway?
No.
That rests my case.
And stupidity, brings me to my second point of defence. Stupid voices.
What?
No, listen.
Yeah. What shall I buy?
I don't know. I've got a UAV.
Buy a UAV.
When engaging in serious matters of war, life and death, should it not be that we should uphold serious tones and speak clearly with our intentions. Doing it silly impressions and silly voices have no place in the proceedings during Warzone. And anything said whilst making a silly voice should not be used as evidence, because you said
I think that's prejudice towards voices.
You said by a UAV and by an airstrike, but you said it in a silly voice that is not your own. Therefore, I discounted it and did not think that you meant it in any serious way.
So what did you buy a UAV for then?
Because I wanted a UAV.
Exactly, selfishness.
Selfishness, is that another accusation?
Oh, that is not an accusation. That is just part of your personality. That's an assassination, not an accusation.
Your Honour, what have I written on this post-it note?
Armour box.
Armour box.
Armour box!
You have
an armour box with the money. Your Honour, I am being accused of selfishness, yet I bought an armour box. An armour box. How does an armour box work? Does it replenish your own armour only and leave your friends to have nothing for themselves? No, it is a communal purchase. Selfishness has no part.
With my money. You asked for my money and Croxon's money, and then you went there and bought an armour box that I didn't ever see, and then you bought a UAV.
And I bought you something with the armour box. So, you gave me instructions to buy a cluster strike in a silly voice, therefore it should not be counted.
It wasn't a silly voice.
Your Honour, I shall play back the evidence.
Please do.
What shall I buy?
No, mate. Go back to the drawing board because you need another idea.
Your Honour, in order to uphold the idea that he was not speaking in a silly voice, Scott would have to be talking like this constantly. Yet, he is in this court here today and he is not speaking with that voice. Therefore, it was a silly voice and it should have been discounted and it cannot be upheld in court.
I think that
You
argument
asked what you think.
underlines this entire case, Your Honour. Prejudice, bone idleness, laziness, selfishness. I need say no more. He said it himself.
Your Honour, he has no specific.
This is not Judge Rinder. Let's go to let's
Your Honour,
go
he
to
has closing statements. We both get closing statements at least. Fair.
Keep them brief.
Keep them brave, Croxon. Kind of taking it with his gavel.
Your Honour, as you know, my defence lies upon three things: cross-talking and therefore ineligibility, silly voices, therefore cannot be taken seriously, and the purchasing of an armour box, proving that selfishness was not a factor.
Thank you. Closing statements from the Crown, Your Honour. At no point in this case have we ever accused or mentioned voices.
Oh, and also my other thing is that he has no specific accusations. So therefore,
we'll strike them final comments from the.
Therefore, you cannot convict me on anything specific because he's not accused me of anything specific.
Those final comments will be stricken from the record as you have finished your closing statements.
Thank you. Can I continue?
You may.
At no point has the defendant or his counsel denied the allegations that he understood and bought the wrong things. At no point has he said he wasn't aware he needed to buy a cluster strike. He's blaming on voices, so he did hear it and he did understand it, but he's dismissed it from his mind. That not being my problem nor yours or the public. So on that basis, along with all the other arguments that I presented, I implore you to find him guilty of this offence for the public safety, for the cocking up of the UAV and cluster strike purchase under Section 1 of the Cunt Management Act 2020. I implore you to find him guilty in this case, Your Honour. That concludes the case for the Crown.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Wonderful, expressive statements from both. To reference the selfishness allegation first, I believe Mr. Conway has provided enough proof to show that that is not, and will be removed from the allegations
From the
and
record.
will not be charged with a count of selfishness.
Yes.
As we head into the cock-up of the cluster strike, the UAV scandal, your two-pronged argument at this point, Mr. Conway, was based on cross-talking and silly voices.
Sorry.
Now, the issue we have here, which the prosecution made quite clear, is that you did, in fact, with the silly voices, still understand what was being said. And with the cross-talking, after reviewing the evidence, I do not believe we have a case for cross-talking. As such, the jury will deliver a verdict of guilty to Mr. Conway.
Suck on them.
Dangerous. All I can say is it's dangerous. It's setting precedents.
Take him down.
That will cause
Bailiff, take him away.
Suffering in the future. Silly voices are now to be upheld as serious communications. Ridiculous.
Got you in my closing remarks, didn't I?
No, you got me because the judge is biased, and
bollocks.
You both talked at the same time, so I actually genuinely didn't know that you said cluster strike.
Shame you didn't say that in court, wasn't it? You can think about that from the long hole of your cell.
I don't think it would help me in this corrupt court.
Oh, it's all corrupt when you're on the wrong side of the boot, mate. Don't worry.
Well, that about does it for episode 8 of the Pick Up and Play podcast. Thank you very much to my guests.
Guests, fuck off! Co-creative, cunt.
Thank you very much.
It's my game.
Thank you very much to my co-hosts, Scott and James.
Thanks.
Maybe one day we'll have Dan back, but we just don't know. But anyway, hopefully see you again soon. Goodbye. Bye.
Bye.
Stupid voice. Didn't mean it.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Ta-da.
Ta-da.
Ta-da. See you, son.